Right,
Hi
here we are.
guys,
Hello,
welcome
everybody.
to episode 5 of Console Shock, the podcast. I'm
Indeed.
Stuart.
I'm Trev, and we're back after Christmas.
Yeah, how's your Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right. It's pretty quiet, really. It was just visiting family and friends, and quite relaxing and yeah, quiet. What about you?
Yeah, about the same really. Just saw, friends, family, did a lot of eating, as I'm sure we all
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Did you get any games or anything as your little Christmas presents?
Weirdly enough, I didn't really. A lot of the games that you probably would have as Christmas kind of games that you would get planned for Christmas. Certainly, if I was a kid, I kind of bought when they came out, so I already had them. So things like your FIFAs and all that. That when I was 11 or something, I'd be like, oh, I want that for Christmas. But now I'm a grown up. I could just buy them when they come out. And Grand Theft Auto, I already bought that. Alien Isolation, things that came out in that sort of was it? I guess that's the fourth quarter, isn't it? In terms
Yeah,
of
that's it. You'd already the same here, to be honest. I never put any sort of games on my list because
no,
obviously I pick them up beforehand and
yeah.
things like that. So I mean, I got my FIFA. I think I picked a few games up.
Yeah,
Or
I've
did
had
I
like
pick a few games up? I got
six.
myself a Wii U Pro controller.
Oh, cool.
I found myself. I got myself FIFA 13 on the Wii U, and I got myself NBA 2K13 on the Wii U.
I picked up those on the Wii U as well. A few, but well, I guess it was about over a year ago now when I got a Wii U. So it could be, I think they'll be quite collectible, being the only real sports games that might ever come out for the Wii U.
Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of people, just the Wii U owners. There's still quite a big community of people who play FIFA online on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's kind of it's weird. It won't like die off like it will on the other consoles, where the next year update comes out and everybody sort of stampedes over to it. Whereas the Wii U, it's the only choice. So and it's
Yeah,
free to play online.
exactly. What's the other thing? That everyone's still playing Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. There's loads of people playing that at the moment.
Yeah, because I mean, it had a good little run that first kind of year. It kind of
Yeah.
got the AAA. Well, every game's a AAA release that's kind of an actual thing in a box on the shelf in a shop that you would buy. But
Hmm.
things like it got like the Call of Duties. You got Call of Duty Ghosts, I guess was the last one now, and it got like Assassin's Creed, Batman,
Hmm.
like Arkham Origins, and Arkham City. So the first like year, they managed to get all these third-party games and Watch Dogs. But Watch Dogs is actually the last one, I think, now, isn't it?
Yeah, that
Um,
that just came out, and I'll be honest, with you, I wouldn't mind, because I do want to play Watch Dogs. I like the big sort of open world games, and but part of me is like, for some reason, I don't want to play it on my PS4 with the better graphics.
yeah,
For some reason, I want to play it on the Wii U,
stick it
and,
on
and
the
I
old.
and I, and I can't work out why, because I know it's just the port of the Xbox 360 version with maybe a little bit, better graphics, but it's certainly not as good as the Xbox One or the PS4 version. So I don't know. It just seems like
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on the PC,
mm,
so I kind of so that's kind of the ultimate version in terms of like graphical, looks and everything, provided you've got the decent hardware to support, the higher settings, which
w-
unfortunately I do. But even then, it's
with
not. Sorry,
with
go.
Watch Dogs though, can't you go into I don't know, it's BIOS or it's the actual game's files and
Yeah,
switch a few numbers in there, and then you get infinitely better graphics.
yeah. There was like basically everybody says that when Watch Dogs was revealed in 2012, was it CES in 2012? It looked
Yeah.
amazing. Like it had like the main character. I've forgotten his name now, but the main character, wears a Big Mac sort of thing. Not as in the burger, as in an actual, coat, a Big Mac coat, and you see him like walking through the crowd, and there's a lot more cars, and there's a lot more people, and there's even like wind, like his coat is fluttering in like the wind, and you see like leaves
Mm,
being blown up. There's better like ambient occlusion, and like it looks wicked. But then they basically took all of that out by the time it got released. But someone on the PC version. I mean, it's not something you can do on a games console because obviously they're all locked down to stop you from doing this stuff. Even if they weren't, you still probably be able to do it. But on someone managed to go into like find like some disabled settings that are in like I don't know if it's in like the .ini files, which are the little files that the game looked into to find out what settings it should be running at.
Mm.
I think someone got into the .ini files and like turned a few things on, and there were some like files that aren't being used by the game that are part of the whole bits that got switched off.
Mm.
Um, and you can actually make it look like it. So that basically Ubisoft kept all the technology and all the files that were part of how it looked in that 2012 demo, but they just kind of disabled it all. I think they're worried about the performance wouldn't be great because it was kind of needed quite a high level of needed a really good graphics card to get it to run. Because like if you playing a game on a PC, you kind of want it to hit 60 frames a second, whereas on console
Exactly.
they tend to sort of have things run at 30 because it can't quite the graphical power isn't there to sort of support the 60 frames a second and have it look really amazing. So yeah, they kind of disabled it all. But yeah, that's a good thing about PC games in general is you can kind of mod things to get them the way you want. Like Skyrim, people have gone crazy doing all kinds of stuff with that. You can put like Batman in it and like the Terminator. And
I know, but say for example, Skyrim is a good example for my point. If you brought Skyrim and it's an amazing story, and why do you want to put Batman and Terminator in Skyrim only for an initial look? I put Batman and Spider-Man or something in Skyrim. It just doesn't.
Well, I think some people do it for like shits and giggles, don't they? But I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's people that have really gone crazy modding Skyrim. There's Morrowind, or Morrowind, not Morrowind's the actual name of the game, isn't it? There's like a Skywind,
Yeah.
the Morrowind or Skywind. But it's basically where someone's upgraded Morrowind's graphics to Skyrim's sort of fidelity. So you can play like Morrowind, which is, for people who don't know, a previous game in the Elder Scrolls.
That's the third one, isn't it?
Third one, yeah. A lot of people say it's the best one. If you want to play it, you can get it on the original Xbox. They made a version for that, and it actually works on the 360, so you can actually play it if you want. There's also obviously PC. It's obviously been on that PC for donkey's years. But yeah, people have modded it so the graphics look like up to date and HD and everything. There's also people where they've actually modded it so you get a brand new storyline. Where there's someone's modded it where you have to actually, it's more realistic where you have to like eat and you have to cook things and you have to go to sleep every night, almost like Shenmue, weirdly. Because
that last bit you just said, that sounds boring. I mean, I like it when people, in fact, you want me over there, that they're making more content for it. Because my opinion of modding is, playing Quake, and you would, make a level where it's, you're in one big room, and
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's just sort of lazy modding. So in fact, someone's gone to Skyrim and they've improved the game and things like that. Maybe they could do it with Skyrim Online, or what's it, Elder Scrolls Online, and try and improve that. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, there's people like the PC version of GTA 4. People have actually modded it where they've recreated Los Santos in GTA 4, and it looks nearly as good as the sort of the actual version of Los Santos that's in GTA 5, because GTA 4 was Liberty City, wasn't it? I think.
That's right. Yeah, Liberty City.
Yeah, so they've actually modded it to look like Los Santos, which is crazy. And there's all kinds of ridiculous mods that people do, and it will happen. That's why I'm really looking forward to GTA 5 on PC, because Rockstar Games has said it'll be moddable. So people will be it'll probably be similar to Skyrim. There'll be people that do silly things like you can walk around as the Terminator, or as like Superman or something, and other people might actually try and mess around with the files to make it look better. They might mess around with the files to even create new storylines, sort of thing. So yeah, it's really interesting, like the whole modding sort of thing. It's pretty darn cool. So yeah, no, it's definitely something that if you're if you're thinking about PC gaming, it's something that can really make your game go beyond its original intention of the actual developers. People, modders also can almost fix games as well. If a game's got a horrendous bug, and the developer's no longer around anymore, or they just
Oh
can't.
yeah, yeah. There's benefits there, but then I'd
Yeah,
argue that by the time if the developer's gone,
yeah,
by that point the game should be it should be up to scratch. I
you
think
would
we
hope
all
so.
understand that when a game comes out, it probably won't be 99% finished, and there will be a few extra, downloadable stuff you've got to get,
Yeah,
and it'll force you into upgrading it. But then, in my opinion, I mean, the game should be done by the time that I don't know,
there's one example that I experienced actually. 'Cause there's a game I'm playing at the moment that I kind of missed when it came out. I wanted to play it, but I just never got around to it. Is Ghostbusters, the sort of 2009-ish.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was sort of out on 360 and PS3 and PC. I managed to get again the PC version, but it's a really irritating thing that if you use a wireless 360 controller, which is
Yeah.
pretty much the standard controller for the PC these days, if you have the little dongle that you need to be able to get the PC to talk to the wireless pad, if that's
Mm.
plugged in when you launch Ghostbusters, it crashes the game. You have
Oh
to
right.
launch it and then plug the dongle in, and then it works perfectly. But yeah, I mean, the company that made Ghostbusters Terminal Reality, they've gone bust.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so there's no chance of a patch for that. It will rely on the modding community to try and come up with a patch written. But strangely, no one actually has. But maybe people just aren't bothered about patching, a game that's just a port from a console.
Mm.
A little bit annoying. I mean, all it takes is just unplugging the dongle and plugging it back in again, and that's all you have to do. But yeah, that's an example of where sometimes things can actually get left, and
Mm.
they'll never get modded because the company's gone bust, which is Terminal Reality as the company that made it, and they actually did. So yeah, there's an
All right. Well,
example.
moving on to the news.
Yes, we should.
Nintendo Direct was this morning. Well, this morning in America, and this afternoon in the United Kingdom,
I
where
actually
we are
missed it.
live from.
Yeah,
What did you think of Nintendo Direct?
I didn't even know it was on. I've actually watched the last few, so I do kind of try and keep up with it.
Oh
Always
right, okay. Well,
and it went.
I'll tell you a few
Yeah,
highlights
what happened?
of a Nintendo Direct. February the 13th, um, the new 3DS XL is coming out to the UK and America.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I didn't
There's
know
going to
that.
be, I believe, two bundles. One's going to be Monster Hunter 4, and one's going to be Zelda Marjorie's Mask.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so we've
Marjorie
got
Clark.
that, and there was just a few more bits and bobs, like Xenoblade Chronicles is coming out. They've given a date for that.
Yeah,
Um, more footage of things like Splatoon,
yeah,
Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, Mario Party 10.
yeah.
There's quite a lot of sort of juicy stuff in there. They also announced a new Fire Emblem
Right.
game as well. So I've never played a Fire Emblem game, but I know they're really good
Yeah,
because
on the PS1 they kind of go for about £1 billion, don't they? Some of the installments in the series that came out on those on the PS1. Yeah, so I know it's got a following big
just
time.
one second, 1 second. Are you sure Fire Emblem came out on the PS1?
Uh, it's not a Nintendo only game, is it?
It is, yeah. It's a proper Nintendo exclusive, that
Or is
one.
it like the SNES versions or something? That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there's a SNES version. I think it only ever came out in Japan, though.
Like JRPG, people go like ape shit over them. Don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think GameCube got one, the Nintendo DS got a couple, and then, of course, the 3DS one that came out last year. And that did really, really well, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame because I have like zero interest in a Fire Emblem, so I'll be like, fairly like meh. about that, unfortunately. But for the fans, it seems like they're kind of really just catering to the. Like I think I said this in like the last podcast. They were far more savvy, like in the 90s.
Mm.
When they had like the N64 and they really tried to I know they had their bullying tactics in the NES days, but they kind of got their act together by the time the SNES came around. And they really were great with the third party like support that they brought out and shit. Um, but now it just seems like they're just catering to kind of a very small group of fans that would care about Fire Emblem. So yeah, I mean it was pretty is a good game. I'm not but I don't know anybody that plays it.
I mean, I know a few people, but then, I work in a game shop, so
You're gonna,
yeah,
gonna
I'm going to, and it's I mean, it's a sort of a tactical RPG,
yeah,
a long history, but you've got to think that it's gonna sell bucket loads in Japan. It will sell a real decent amount in America. Across Europe, it's a real decent amount. So overall, it will do very well for Nintendo. And I actually would say, I disagree with you there. I think Nintendo are actually quite savvy because they've gone, okay, we haven't sold a million on one. Well, in fact, they've sold more than a million on one Wii U's. They've sold about 4 or 5 million Wii U's, but they haven't sold. Let's say they haven't sold 50 million Wii U's. So they're getting money from the amiibos and from the DS and from their own games that they make. They're bringing out quality games,
yeah.
and I think we're actually going to go. Well, actually, Nintendo are still making a lot of money here, and no, I want to see Nintendo make money. I don't want to see them go
No.
down another route and
I don't want to see Sega.
go.
I don't want to see them. I don't want the Wii U to be. I mean, a lot of people saying that it is like. I've said it like it's this generation's like Dreamcast, which in some ways it is. But I don't want it to be in the sense that Nintendo thinks shit. We're getting completely like nailed by
Hmm.
Microsoft and Sony. We're gonna have to give up and start making Mario for the PlayStation. I
No,
really
no.
they don't.
In my opinion,
I don't
that's
think
never
that's going
going
to
to
happen.
happen in the next short to medium term. So let's say 5 years, because
Yeah,
they've got a profitable machine. I think when the next set of results are going to come out, they're going to be back into profit because of the success they've had with Mario Kart, with Smash Brothers. With all the amiibos, the
yeah,
Pokemon games. They've got some, and if you look at the Japanese charts, week in, week out, it's 5 of every 10 games there are Nintendo titles.
yeah.
And
But
then if you look at the consoles,
that's in Japan.
the 3DS is always top or second. The Wii
Yeah,
U is always
I
third
mean,
or
great.
fourth.
That's great if Japan is the only market you care about.
Mm,
And perhaps Nintendo do only really care about Japan, and they can probably live off that forever. But in terms of I don't want to say mainstream because Japan is kind of is mainstream. But in terms of like the larger chunk of the market, which is Europe and America, especially if you combine them.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, certainly, yeah.
yeah, basically, I think Nintendo will become like SNK were in the 90s. They'll make these niche boutique game systems. Not like to the point where they're really expensive, so people can't get them. But just the only people that bought like Neo Geo were rich people that like King of the Fighters, or people that just are really into Metal Slug and King of the Fighters,
Mm.
and they want to play the best versions of those games on they bought the Neo Geos. But they were never going to become mainstream because one the games are too niche, and two they cost loads compared to a Mega Drive or a Super Nintendo.
Exactly, yeah.
Nintendo will probably become like that a little bit, not to the same degree because the systems are relatively cheap, but I think they'll just become Nintendo fan consoles because the third party support will probably completely die.
But
And
I think I think you may be saying the right thing about the home console, but actually the handheld market is no, in all honesty, I don't own a 3DS, but I'm sure
yeah,
you do, and they're probably there's probably more 3DSs in UK homes today than there are
beaters.
oh yeah, certainly Vitas but PS4 and Xbox One combined.
Well, yeah, I mean it's currently, I guess, because that was the system that kind of started the current gen in 2011 when it came out. Bloody hell, is it really that long ago now? Seems like
Mm.
yesterday. But yeah, it's I know they don't count handhelds against the plug into your telly systems,
Mm.
but it is the market leader, and it probably will be for a long time. I'm not
Mm.
sure it will sell 100 million units or 100 nearly 50 million units that the DS sold because the handheld market is getting smaller. But
Yeah, because of iPhones and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it might even be. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the consoles now are going to be the last consoles. I don't think they'll be the last consoles. They'll change. They'll just change into a different form. And I think that's the same with handhelds. I don't think they'll be like. There'll still be a Nintendo. Well, if you want to play Nintendo games, you'll have to get whatever Nintendo handheld they'll come out with.
Well, that's the
That'll keep
rumours.
it going. No.
There's been lots of rumours going around that the next Nintendo console they're going to bring out is going to be a handheld and a console. So the
Yeah, I think
whole
that'd be great.
idea is that you'll buy your games, so let's say Smash Brothers or Mario Galaxy 3 or New Super Mario Brothers 4,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And the whole idea is you can play this on the move when you're out and about, and then when you come home, you can play it on your TV.
You
So
basically get you basically get the Wii U and the 3DS combined into one thing. I mean, I think that'd be a great idea. They might even be able to carve their own little niche and be able to live
mm,
off that. Um, I mean, I'd get something like that. That sounds awesome. You know,
yeah, and exactly, and that's my prediction on what they're going to do next. And but the only thing I'm worried about is they're being forced to move a little bit quickly into that, so that
yeah, yeah,
they're I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out within the next 2 years. When I'd actually rather them because I've got the Wii U, I really like it, and literally every sounds all it doesn't make sense, but every quality game that comes out is a quality game, if that makes sense. You've got a little bit of shovelware on there, but
yeah.
you don't get a game coming out like on the PS4 or the Xbox 360 in the past. Every Friday, a couple of games came out. With the Wii U, you'll get 10 games a year,
But that
but
would be brilliant.
there'll be Zelda Wii U, there'll be New Super Mario Brothers, there'll be Bayonetta, there'll be absolute quality tip-top games. But even if you're not a fan of, a type of genre, you'll still really go for it and
Yeah,
enjoy it.
they'll basically become the Disney of video games. They probably already are. You know,
Mm,
Disney release. If you just talk about the Pixar films, they just do. In a decade they'll bring out maybe 10 films, but they'll all be amazing. Whereas
yeah,
20th Century Fox on their own will do several a year, and 90% of them will be shite. And you get a following. Disney have a following of people that are obsessed with Disney stuff.
mm,
And everything they basically touch turns to gold. Nintendo are kind of like that, but in video games, they've got a
yeah,
nice stable of characters. They've got an army of people that love those characters. They can put them in all kinds of scenarios, like driving a kart, playing golf, tennis, RPG, whatever, and then people will get them. But the people that make the games are really good. I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto is like a genius. He's like George Lucas,
I mean, the
he's like,
games are absolutely quality. So
yeah,
the thing is, you just can't get away from the fact that they are really good games. And I mean, stuff like Smash Brothers. I mean, I said in the last podcast, I'm really enjoying Smash Brothers, but I don't enjoy any other fighting game really.
yeah,
I'm really enjoying Mario Kart, but that's just if you look at it bare bones, it's just a kart racer, but it's somehow got that Nintendo magic that that's made it one of the best games of the year, maybe the best game of last year for
yeah,
me was
yeah.
Mario Kart 8.
Well, they're just a
And
lot
to
you
say
pick up.
that about a racing game
Yeah, I
from
mean, I've
myself.
Mario Kart, you can very quickly jump into it and have a game and get through some of the cups and really enjoy it. Whereas Forza 5, you've got to really think, right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play it, I'm going to win these like races and earn XP, and then going through a bunch of menus to do up my car and do all that. You've really got you got to really feel like you want to go have a good hour playing it and achieve things. You know.
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything away from the Forza series or the Gran Turismo series. They're all, you know, really, really good games.
Yeah.
It's
Mario Kart,
I'm just talking about, you know, sort of Nintendo magic and you know, that's what people, you know, they get engrossed in a game, and you know, they like the characters, they like the scenarios, they like everything about it, and maybe it's
more appeal than, like, you know, a lot of the AAA, you know, console, you know, the 1080p twins, you know, well, not so much the Xbox One 1080p, but you know what I mean. You know, Call of Duty. If you've got like your family around, you know, and you want to play a game after Christmas, you know, after Christmas dinner, we're not going to play Call of Duty, are you? Going to play Mario Kart? You know, they have that universe, like Disney. You know, it's, you know, you could just plop a Disney film on and everybody would be quite happy to watch it. Whereas, like, you know, a Michael Bay film, perhaps not. And it's the same with Nintendo. They have that universal appeal, that, you know, people are warm to their games and characters in a way that you can't really do with a, you know, some faceless Master Chief character in a first-person shooter with too many controls that you can't quickly just play. You know, so yeah, and I think they'll happily you can make money in that niche, and that's what they're doing. I think the days of them being a market leader are gone though, and I can't really see them coming back. Certainly in, like, obviously the handhelds, they are a market leader.
Trevor, stop.
Yes.
I've been gone for ages.
You're right. What you mean? Stop recording?
Yeah, it stopped recording, and I had to re-log in.
Oh, right. Okay. I think you're back on though.
I am, but I'm echoing.
Do you wanna stop and start? I don't know if it will cause two, like, episodes to be made. Do you want to just quickly, like, I don't know? Can you? I think I can hear you all right. You sound all right to me.
Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, I've stopped echoing now.
Cool.
Yeah, let's carry on.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Okay, so I've got no idea what you said before, so I'm not going to ask you to repeat it, but I think it moves swiftly on into PlayStation Now. So talking about the future of Nintendo, maybe how does that relate to the PlayStation Now, which I believe the pricing in America is $19.99 per month, and then you get access to about 200 PlayStation 3 games. Now, well, actually, I'll let you talk. What do you think about that, Trevor?
I think it's just a lot better than when they initially announced it, when you paid something ridiculous like $5 to rent a game for 24 hours, when you can just go to, like, you know, somewhere like your shop or CEX and probably pay the same, you know, to own the game. A second-hand copy are fair enough, but it's a physical disc that you actually own, and you're not just borrowing it from a computer off that's sat remotely somewhere. Serving you the file. So having a subscription service, though, I think they should kind of integrate it into PlayStation Plus, so it's not an addition.
That's right, yeah.
For that, hopefully that's what they've got in mind, and this is just to test the water a little bit. But it's better to pay a subscription fee, and I think that's probably the way playing old games on new consoles. And I don't mean really old games, because you can just emulate, you know, a NES and some things like on, like, the Wii U. But in terms of, like, it's very difficult to emulate old consoles on new ones. I mean, they do that with other consoles by actually including the hardware, which is what they did with the PS3. There was part of the PS2 actually was inside the PS3.
That's right, yeah.
I think the PS1 was done with literally some software, but because that was quite an old system, that was easy. But I mean, but in the PS2, that was they emulated the PS1 by having a bit of the PS2, bit of the PS1, sorry, in the PS2. And I think that when that chip wasn't being used to run a PS1 game, it was like the CD-ROM or the DVD drive controller or an audio driver or something really, like, secondary. So yeah, so that's how they do it. So, but it's too expensive to increase the cost of the hardware. to include like bits of the PS3 and the PS4. And because it's not Intel, the PS3 was a Power PC. It puts yet another layer of difficulty in having a PS4 run it. I mean, the
Mm.
Xbox 360 can, can just about run maybe 70% of the Xbox, the original Xbox's library, and even that, some of those games have a lot of glitches because they're different architectures. So I think streaming it is probably the way to go, as long as the price is right. And I think ideally you should integrate it into whatever subscription you already have to pay. Because there's
Mm.
some people that will just pay. I have no interest in PlayStation now, and they're not bothered about the free games. They don't want to play online. But if someone says, "Oh yeah, but we'll give you 100 PS3 games that are yours to stream from whenever," you'll be like, "Oh, it's cool. Yeah, I'll pay for that now. I'll pay 30 quid a month."
I mean, for PS3 games, I mean, I've had a look at the list, and there's things that are on there. Uncharted. Well, we've got Uncharted in our shop for £2.99. God
Yeah,
of War 3. Well, God of War's £3.99. So you instantly go, okay, well, how many games can I play in a month to justify my £20? Because you can get these games already quite cheaply, and then you've got to think, well, actually, if I'm a hardcore gamer and I follow PlayStation, and they say, right, here you go, $20. Okay, it's probably about 13, 14 quid, probably 14.99 over here,
yeah,
including all relevant taxes.
yeah,
The problem is, you've probably played all of those games. I'll look down the list and I'll go, okay, yeah, everybody's golf. Yeah, well, I've clocked that already. Okay, it probably won't have the Call of Duties, but it'll have. Okay, he's got Uncharted. Oh, well, I've done all the Uncharted games.
it'll be like Ratchet and Clank and all the Sony
You get the Ratchet and Clank
Naughty Dog
games,
kind
and
of
and,
game.
and, and so there's going to be a lot of games on there
Ridge
that are going to
Racer.
be.
Yeah,
I've already done them. Actually, what I want to play is maybe the latest games that are going to be having like the PS3 version of the latest game.
yeah.
Say for example, I don't know,
You
Battlefield,
get Fast Warfare.
Battlefield 4 or, or,
Yeah,
or, or something like that. That's what you want to play, and I don't believe they're going to be on there. But
yeah. I
I
don't want to
am quite
ruin sales. Yeah,
excited about them. I think when the service develops, and you're going to get, okay, you sign up, and there's going to be 1,000 PS1 games on there, and there's going to be 1,000 PS2 games on there you can
yeah,
stream,
yeah.
and for me,
That would
I
be good.
think that'd be a very sort of quite a good service. You go, okay, well, I've just watched a review on from what's it, Classic Game Room,
Yeah,
DJR. Big
you
shout
can
out to Mark.
jump in now and play. Yeah.
And you go, oh, actually, he's just done a review of Rage
Ridge
Racer.
Racer 7. I've just seen Ridge
Well,
Racer 7. I never picked it up back in the day. You know what? It's on my subscription. I'll jump in and play it now. Yeah.
exactly. You can just jump into it and play a few of these older games. And okay, I don't think that's going to sort of hurt my business, because you're still going to have the collectors who want to collect the old games, because there's always
Yeah.
been emulation.
Yeah.
I think emulation was going sort of 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that, and I think the service needs to be better. The thought of just having 200 mediocre PS3 games is not enough for me at the moment.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, we're a specific type of gamer.
Mm.
We're pretty hardcore, if we do say so ourselves, because we love the brand new games, and we get most of the AAA releases that we care about, and then we also collect.
Mm.
We don't get rid of our old stuff, do we? Much to the annoyance of the people we live with, and because we have these big piles of old games. But we love them. We have an affection.
Oh, hold on. Happy 5-year anniversary, Trevor.
Cheers, yes. So yeah, that was for me and my girlfriend. By the way, if you're wondering what that was about, 5 years, yeah, putting up with my game collection. Um, but basically, like, yeah, I mean, I like to own physical copies of games, and I've never bought a PS Mini or whatever they call the PS1 games when you bought them on the PS3 to play. Most of the time, because the
Mm.
ones I cared about, I've actually got a physical disc, so I can just play it on the PS3 or dig out my little PS1 with the screen attached to it. And they never appealed to me. Plus, anyway, I prefer to have the physical disc. Because if the surface goes down, you could lose, everything you potentially bought. You don't really own, even though you have paid, it's a download on a hard drive. You don't really own it.
Mm.
And the other thing is, if it gets deleted, it getting another copy of a downloadable of some kind of, digital copy of something. They make it really difficult. You have to.
I think a good example of that is
Yeah,
I've got my Xbox 360 in my office now, and I used to have it wired into the, not the home network, but wired into my router. But I don't have the dongle,
yeah,
so I
yeah.
can't connect it to the internet. So the problem is now that all of my arcade games
You
that I've
can't. Yeah,
bought, I can't
yeah.
actually use because I can't sign in to Xbox Live for them to go, oh yes, this guy's paid for them, or so they don't work.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a great one as well. I mean, they released a remake of Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, for Xbox 360 and PS3.
Mm.
It's called Turtles in Time Reshelled, which is the Super Nintendo and arcade scrolling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat 'em up, which is still the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game like ever made, and is my favourite Super Nintendo game. So when they released a remake of it, I thought, oh, brilliant! That'd be amazing, and it was all right. It got kind of slated because people were like moaning about, oh, you're just going around, hitting the same button all the time. Because that's what it is. It's scrolling beat 'em up. But yeah, and it was up for about, you paid, I think it was about £4, and you paid your £4, and it was sat on my hard drive. But then that PS3 stopped working, and I got a new one. But the game had been removed for sale,
Mm.
so I wasn't able to get it again. So that was £4 that had been lost, and
Yeah.
there's like digital copies on a disc compilation. There's no way you can like hack your PS3 to get it because the files disappeared off the internet, really. Unless I guess you'd probably get if you got a modded PS3. Someone probably has a file of it somewhere. But it's not easy to get. Put it that way. So yeah, that's
I had the same problem with Doom. That it was out on Xbox Live, and I brought that sort of early doors as soon as it came out, and really enjoyed playing it. Then for one reason or another, my Xbox red lighted, so I think I didn't have one for a few months, and then I brought another one with a bigger hard drive, and I thought I went through and downloaded all my games.
yeah.
Because you can re-download them. And I think there was Doom, and I want to say Sensible World of Soccer.
That was
They're only allowed to be published for a year,
yeah,
or there was some sort of publishing issue with at least one of them, so
yeah.
I couldn't download it, and so it had completely gone. But the point was, okay, well I played it when I originally got it. I don't really, want to play it again. But the point is, I didn't rent it for a month. I
Yeah,
didn't pay to rent it for a month. I paid for it to have it until I, wanted
die.
to get
Yeah.
rid of it. Or so
With a
from
physical
my
disc,
point of
it's
view,
always
yeah.
sat there on the shelf, so you own it. You actually own it. It's a thing. You can hold it. You know.
Mm,
And the only thing that's going to stop you from owning it is if you sell it or you set fire to it or something. But with a digital copy, there's no. It's also good that the prices aren't brilliant. I mean, obviously this is a bit better now with this subscription thing. But
mm,
I mean, last week I went on I went mental buying a bunch of Xbox 360 games as well because I've got a CEX like literally down the road from me, which is like deadly if you me and people like me and you are collectors. Because right
yeah.
now, last gen is like, because you just said you're selling Uncharted for £2.50. They're just like giving them away at the moment. So yeah, I went in there and I ended up buying like 10 games. I've got like Red Dead Redemption. I've got Battlefield 3. All these games that I was like at the time, like, I might play that sometime. Now I'm actually able to get a load of them. I've got like Duke Nukem Forever. I know it's supposed to be crap, but I want to play it anyway because I like Duke Nukem. That was like
Yeah.
£1.50, and I got like Euro 2008. So I like getting the tournament, the football tournament games.
I mean, I think
That was like 90p or something. Yeah,
was that when you took a picture of FIFA '06 Road to the World Cup and put it
yeah,
on
yeah,
your
that's right.
Facebook?
You liked it or something, didn't you? And
And
we had
I,
a bit
and we
about
had
it.
a bit of a chat about that, didn't we?
Yeah,
Do you know
you're
what?
the only person
I
that would
haven't seen
appreciate
that
that.
game.
Yeah,
That's not come through my shop for I think well over a year.
it's actually a
Honestly,
funny one. I think I said when we were chatting on Facebook about it, I was like, when I remember when the 360 came out in 2005, November, wasn't it? I think that was one of the launch games because like, a
yeah.
FIFA 6, regular FIFA '06 came out for the PS2 and the Xbox original, and a couple of months before. So I think EA were like, we haven't really got time to make a full-blown FIFA, but we want some kind of FIFA to come out for the 360 because it's in that kind of window when we
Mm,
release a FIFA game for everything else, and this is a brand new console. So they cobbled together this FIFA Road to World Cup game, which cuts out 90% of what you can do in FIFA '06 on the PS2, and just has it as an international qualification for the World Cup. But yeah, I remember like after it came out, you go into any old shop in 2006, and I don't know, I guess you might have been working in one at the time where you had your previous shop you owned.
yeah.
It was just the most, you know, it was the game you could buy anywhere. There was a million copies of them everywhere. But that slowly diminished, and now you can't get it anywhere. It's really hard to get because it was in that it launched with the Xbox 360. There's only a certain amount of people that could have bought it, which is nowhere
Mm.
near the amount of people that would buy FIFA now for the Xbox 360. So it's quite rare in when compared to other FIFA games. So I saw it and I thought, sod it, I'm gonna grab that 'cause it was like 80p. The game's fun. I haven't actually played it yet. I want to play it. It's on my list to be
Well,
played.
what's the um? It's actually quite good. Tell you one thing about it. It's quite good. It's very
Yeah.
easy to get 1,000 points on it.
Oh, gamer score.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get your gamer score. So
Wasn't there?
I
Was it
don't think people are
Terminator
as
game?
interested now in gamer score. But at one point, it was always, oh yeah, get FIFA '06. It's an easy way to get 1,000 points.
I think you might know this because I guess there's people can probably buy games from your shop because of the gamer score. But wasn't there? Was it Terminator Salvation?
Mm.
It was literally like the campaign was only like 3 hours long, and everything you did, you got an achievement unlocked. It was like press start on the menu screen, achievement unlocked. Do you get like it had like 1,000 gamer score on it? So you could
I
like
don't know. I don't know about that one, but there are. I mean, I remember there was a game, Avatar, The Last Airbender, a sort of a
campaign.
green cover,
Yeah,
and that one you put the game in, and then you just mash the B button, and then you get your 1,000 points, your
yeah,
1,000 gamer score in literally minutes. And we had, I don't say, a little scam or something going on. Well, people bring their hard drives in. We had a copy of this game behind the counter, and
yeah.
we'll get them 1,000 points. So if you imagine you're
Put a
22
spanner
years
or it.
old, you like playing Call of Duty, but you want to get more points than your mate, but you don't want to
Yeah.
play this kid's game. It was brilliant for that. And people used to pay £2 to get um, their 1,000 gamer score, and everyone left happy, and it was all good really.
Yeah, I'm trying to hunt down a copy of Terminator Salvation now, so I can get this like stupidly easy gamer score to get because it's literally just a really short campaign, and the game is just over the shoulder third-person cover-based shooter that's really easy. And I actually like the Terminator film, so maybe I'll get a bit of a kick out of it for that. But apparently, yeah, like people are selling them on eBay for like 20 odd quid still because it's like a copy because of the gamer score on it, and that's the only reason why people buy it.
Well, I bet we've got one in the shop. I bet we have.
Mate,
Anyway,
you should have that as a little event. Come get your gamer score. We've got loads of copies of Terminator.
oh, I don't know. I don't think I could be bothered to stand there for 3 hours completing it.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
be worth
sure
it.
there's other things I should be doing.
Yeah,
Over Christmas, were you affected by the Xbox and the Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network outage
no.
by the whoever did that? Was it
Listen,
the Team Lizard Squad?
yeah. No, I wasn't. I mean, I didn't get. I mean, me and you are the same as well with this. I mean, we tend to buy our consoles when they come out.
Mm,
So, I mean, I ended up with now I've got all three of the next gen systems, but the one I really cared about at the time was the PS4, and I got that when it came out. So,
mm,
all the patches and all the various crap you had to do to get to be able to work to use it. I did on day one when there was probably actually more people on that day that would have tried to get in their PS4. I think I played FIFA against you, didn't I, that night?
Yeah, we had a go on there, didn't we? FIFA 14.
Yeah, we sort of said, "Oh, we're both getting it, so let's do it on launch night." And
Mm.
yeah, and it was fine. We didn't have any trouble at all. Um, and I got the other consoles later on. I didn't get them when they came out because I'm not like that rich, or I wasn't that bothered when they came out at the time. But yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't really play my PS4 or my Xbox One over Christmas anyway because I was kind of traveling a bit, and I've got a gaming laptop, so I was playing my games on that more than anything else. So no, I wasn't. What about you?
No, not really. But what do you think about the Lizard Squad for
I think
obviously overloading the systems and
yeah, they interviewed, didn't they? One of the dudes,
oh God.
and he was like, "Oh yeah,
It,
we because kids should be spending time with their family at Christmas." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but you're spending time hacking a game network, so
mm,
you be spending time with your family instead of doing that." So he's a bit of a hypocrite if he's having to go at people for just wanting to play a bloody video game. And you
I-
can play video games with your family, Mario Party, Just Dance, Buzz, whatever. So
exactly. I mean, I've said before that computer games, they do bring people together. They
yeah,
do, they are sort of a family entertainment thing, and I think there's no getting away from that. Look at games like Mario Kart, which I can't stop talking about, Smash Brothers, at games like FIFA,
yeah, every
Call of
game's
Duty to a
multiplayer.
smaller extent,
Yeah,
and I don't see the difference between sitting down and doing a 30-hour RPG than reading, all three chapters of Lord of the Rings.
yeah. I mean,
You
that's kind
think
of when they take down a bookstore because you can sit and read a book on your own away from your family. That's just as dangerous, I guess, as a video game. So that's
exactly, or why don't they go out there and shoot all the drug dealers for ruining plenty of families all over the
yeah,
country? That
yeah,
got a little bit morbid.
yeah, yeah. But it's true.
But
Shoot all the drug back to
anyway.
Porto
But
instead.
no, what I was going to say is I do think that Xbox and PSN, they've, people are paying £40 a month. The service has always got to be up,
Yeah,
but they've got to sort out their systems so this doesn't happen again. Because,
yeah.
the fact that it was out for 5 days, so people are getting an extra 5 days, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. It shouldn't be happening at all.
And
And
so
then,
much of these of the UIs of these next gen consoles are just online only. You know,
mm,
I mean, if you need to get and the fact that there's a mandatory install, but often with that install, it downloads the new content at the same time. So when it's working, you've got to sit there and wait. Sometimes, I mean, when I got Dead Rising 3, it had a 16 gigabyte update.
oh
So
my God.
so I had to wait. I had to leave it for 8 hours
Mm,
and I couldn't pop another game in because while it was doing it, I had to let it do it. And I couldn't play it for. So if you're a little kid, and I'm a grown up that understands that these things take time. A little kid that's just got Dead Rising 3 on their Xbox, one the network's down, I can't play it. Although you shouldn't get a kid Dead Rising 3.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, they've got to wait for the network to work, and after that they've got to wait 8 hours to download 16 gigabyte update, mandatory update.
Yeah.
So it's just the days of cartridge slot insert done are long gone, unfortunately.
But
But
how does a game? I mean, I understand how games. Oh, okay, yeah, we're going to slightly improve it. But a day one 16 gig, the disc game's on a blooming Blu-ray. It's got
I know,
if you can't put a AAA title onto a 50 gigabyte disc,
yeah,
wow.
like Halo, the Master Chief Collection. I got that, and I couldn't play that for about 2 hours because I had a bloody 2 gig update
Mm.
because there was some like stability issues or something. And yeah, it's just like
I know, but Trevor, I'm not. The 2 gigabyte is one hell of a lot of data.
Yeah, I mean that's about six
That's
worth in the PS1 days, isn't
you,
it?
you know that think how much that's basically half a DVD or four CDs or something,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's just to sort out stability.
It's not
Surely
even like, yeah,
sorting out stability should be a 5 megabyte
yeah.
download that you've
You're
got
not
to
getting
do.
any content. You're not downloading any content that's going to enhance the game. You're just downloading something that will make it work. You know, which
Exactly. If you know if you I just don't understand a
it's
stability
painful.
update being,
It pains.
2 gigabyte. That's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, the Xbox seems to have a lot of these for some reason. I can't remember when I had to do that with a PS4 game. I mean, I had to wait for the. I remember MLB 14 took about an hour for you to be able to play a game because it was like you had to install all the stadiums. It got you to the menu like within a couple of minutes, but
Mm.
you couldn't start a match because it was still installing all like the player models and logos and images, and that took about another hour. So you actually got as far as the menu, but you couldn't do anything beyond that. I'd rather they just not bother to launch the game if I can't do anything, in the game at all, apart from navigate
Yeah. So you're
menus.
just looking at the front menu. Actually,
Yeah.
talking about MLB 14, I saw that in the shop the other day.
No way.
I did, yeah. It was in Camden.
What PS4?
Yeah, PS4, and I thought, oh, shall I get that?
Got it though, haven't you?
Huh?
I thought you had it.
I've got a MLB game on the Vita.
Oh right, yeah, like 13 or something. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. And I thought, well, I'll play that, and it's
it's very good. I mean,
oh,
it's
no,
the
no, no.
so
I'm sure it's a very good game, but
how much is it?
honestly, oh, it was 30 quid.
Really, Jesus. I suppose it's an imported game though, isn't it? So people like to sort of
Yeah,
jack
I've not ever
it.
seen one, so they probably I don't know how much that's the going rate. Anyway, you emailed me earlier a really good question,
Yes,
so I'm going to ask it to you, and then
we'll see how what we think.
okay, have the next gen consoles been maxed out already? Question mark.
Yeah. So clarify that. What I mean by that is, have they reached the limits of their abilities in terms of graphics and and all that stuff? Uh, and I think they have already. And a lot of people will say, with previous generations, you tend to have seen. I mean, like we talked about FIFA '06 on the Xbox 360. If you compare that to FIFA 15 on the
Mm.
360, it's like they're on different consoles, or GTA 5 to an early like Perfect Dark Zero.
Do you
You
know what? That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like they're completely different generations. So as time went on, because these were Power PC based computers, because they are computers, the programmers would kind of get their head initially around them to enough to learn to make a decent looking game. But as the years go by, they would learn new tricks, and the software development kits would be updated to unlock more power and more features. So gradually, the quality is certainly in the graphics is where you notice it more would improve
Mm.
until eventually you get to the end where you have games that look a million miles away from where you were at the start. And it's been the same with most consoles. I mean, like the PS1, the Metal Gear Solid is a very late PS1 game. You can compare that to Crazy Ivan or like Lone Soldier or Ridge Racer. Gran Turismo 2 compared to Ridge Racer,
Gran Turismo 2 compared to Destruction Derby 1.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Which is a good game, actually, Destruction Derby, but
It is,
graphics,
no, it's fun. It's fun,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not hasn't got the depth or the graphic. Oh, it's night and day, isn't it? Night and day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like they're on different systems.
Mm.
And, Shadows of the Empire compared to, like, Ocarina of Time, or Mario 64 compared to Banjo-Kazooie, which is only
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
But I think it's different this time around because basically the next gen consoles are based on laptop PCs, and the graphics and the graphics and the CPU are actually in one chip. They're not dead. They're not. You don't have what you call discrete graphics, where you have a separate graphics processor to the CPU. Although they do kind of work like that anyway. But they're based on Intel chips, So there's no mysteries as to how you program a game to run on that sort of architecture. I think
Yeah.
they've got AMD graphics. Again,
Mm.
AMD graphics, they used to be called ATI. Well, AMD bought ATI. Remember the GameCube had an ATI graphics
It did, yeah, yeah.
and I think the GameCube did, the Wii did as well. I think the Wii U as well. Like, man, Nintendo really love AMD. But anyway, yeah. So there's no like power to unlock that's been hidden away. So the games that you've got now, and to be fair, like with the Xbox One, you have seen that Microsoft have slowly released there's more ability to the developers by shutting off Kinect functions, which hog some of the CPU
Hmm.
time, and that has meant you've been able to get games that are more games at 1080p, 60 frames a second, like Call of Duty Ghosts was 720p on the Xbox One, but Advanced Warfare, I mean, it wasn't 1080p; it's like 13 something by 1080, so it's not quite 1080p full
Mm.
HD, but it's an improvement. But you're not really going to see in 5 years, if they even last that long, a night and day difference like you've had, with the previous generations. And also, you would find that a games console like a 360 when it came out and the sort of PS3 were a lot more advanced than the top kind of PC gaming graphics card of the time. And it would be a couple of years before you would start seeing PC graphics cards catch up and then ultimately overtake and be light years ahead. Whereas you haven't really seen that. I mean, Rise on the Xbox One runs at 1600 by 900p, 16 by 900p. You can get Rise on the PC and run it in 4K already, and it will look, the textures will be better. You can run it at 60 frames a second. My gaming laptop can run it at 60 frames a second, 1080p, which is beyond
Mm.
what Xbox One can do, and that's a laptop. Although laptop graphics cards are pretty good these days. Um,
I
so
don't
yeah,
know. Part of me wants to say,
what do you think
I
about it?
think it's a question that we can't answer because
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. I can't really back this up. We're talking about chips or talking about this or talking about
yeah,
memory allocation and I don't know all that type of stuff. But I
yeah,
do think that even let's say games are starting to look better on the
yeah,
Xbox One and on the PS4, and I
yeah,
still don't think we've got that super exclusive. Let's say something like Uncharted 4.
yeah,
I think let's say when Uncharted 4 comes out now, what's the name? Naughty Dog have always had a close relationship with PlayStation and Sony,
yeah.
so obviously and they've had the time to build this game and the videos so far they look a little bit buggy apparently,
Yeah, yeah,
but still we haven't got the Halo 5, the Uncharted 4, the a true Forza. We've had Forza Horizon, I suppose, but
the
there
big
doesn't seem
launch
to be a
game.
game that's.
Yeah.
Most of the games came out before Christmas. Actually, came out on the 360 and the PS3 as well.
Well,
Um,
the best game I played on PS4 is The Last of Us remastered, and that's that I could have got that a year earlier on the PS3. I just didn't get around to it. And Tomb
mm,
Raider, that was the first game I finished on the Xbox One, and that was again a remastered re-release. Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, obviously they showed that they can make them look better than the old generation,
yeah,
but still, I don't think we've had that triple A super title. Let's say they'll bring out, Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, I would like to see if that was built from the ground up for the PS4, for the Xbox One, then I think that'll be an amazing experience. And part of me would like to see. I don't know how best to describe it. Um, I don't really know what. Yeah, I've sort of lost my train of
You've
thought
already
now.
got
But
with GTA 5, and I mean that looked great. That looks amazing in like when you compare that version to the old gen version, which already looked really good.
yeah, it did. Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, but I think GTA 6. I mean, it'll look better, but I don't think it will be as big a difference as GTA 5 was to maybe 4 or like earlier games.
Well, that's still. I mean, I remember getting my pre-order in for the for the PS4, and
Yeah,
I was right. My pre-order's down. I can't wait for this machine. It's going to be coming out, and then a month before it came out, GTA 5 came out. Put
yeah,
that in my Xbox 360, and I thought, well, actually, how are they going to make graphics that look better than this? How are they going to make a game that I'm going to enjoy more than this game?
yeah.
And I still haven't had that answer. Obviously,
Yeah.
the graphics do look better on quite a few games on the PS4, but I haven't had a better experience than what I did on the 360 with Grand Theft Auto 5, with storytelling, with graphics,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a whole, just
It's not a bigger jump as like Mega Drive was to PS1 when you went from 2D sprite-based games,
yeah.
3D polygon worlds you can immerse yourself in, and even to like PS1 to PS2 where it was still the 3D polygons, but it was like double the resolution. It was like
Mm.
everything looked sharper and things looked more realistic and cars looked more like real cars instead of just like blocks. You know?
Because think about going from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. The only thing, well, two or three things have been improved. Slightly higher resolution, better textures, you get less loading screens,
Might be more
they
brain.
can load more in at once.
Yeah.
So, but it's still so many games come out, and you go in, okay, well, I can get the same storyline, I can get the same leveling of engrossment.
Yeah.
Um,
If you bought Call of
w-
Duty Advanced Warfare on the 360, you're getting the same game as you get on the Xbox One or the PS4. It
of
just
course, of course, you are.
yeah,
You're getting exactly the same experience, but on the PS4 or the Xbox One, it's slightly higher resolution. It looks a little bit shinier,
yeah,
and it might load quicker. And instead of having 16 players on the map, it might be able to have 20 players on the map.
yeah.
You, you
It's not
know,
like
it
yeah,
we've almost gone from, to use Apple, we've gone from the iPhone 6 to the iPhone 6 Plus.
pretty much yeah.
It feels like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I can see this is better, but I'm still happy driving around my 2009 BMW. I don't need to get a 2015 BMW. It's still good, still gets me from A to B. It's still very reliable. I'm happy with this. Kids like it, everyone likes it. Why do I need to upgrade?
Exactly. I mean, it's like and it's an unusual transition. But it's almost like it's just nothing like when you had like but in the 90s, like you would get a game on the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive, then you get a Game Boy or a NES version to go with it, like the
Mm.
like WWF, Steel Cage, and like the Mega Drive version, I think it was a Steel Cage game. But you know what I mean? A WWF game, there'd be a night and day difference between the Game Boy version and the Mega Drive version, to the point where you
Mm.
actually get a different experience when you play either,
Oh
and you
yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
the Mega
yeah.
Drive version more, or when you got near the end of the life of those consoles, and then you went and got FIFA 98 on your Super Nintendo, and you
Mm.
got basically the same 2D, kind of cool looking for the console it's on, 2D isometric football game. But then a couple of months later, you got a PlayStation, and you got FIFA 98 for the PlayStation. You got this amazing immersive 3D stadium with 3D players that there's commentary and there's realistic kits and yeah, and there's way more teams, and there's like proper there's actual real music playing in the menu, and not like MIDI kind of thing going on, and so you would enjoy it more, and you'd feel like you were part of the game more, you know.
I
But
think, yeah,
yeah,
you're right, and you look at games that came out on like the PlayStation 2. There was a lot of overlap between the PlayStation 2 games and the Xbox 360 games,
yeah,
and they were noticeably, they were a lot more different than on the 360. It was, oh right, this is a jump. This is, I've gone from the olden days to this. It's all in HDMI. It's it's online. It's everything's seamless. It's
God,
I can really see
Drive.
I'm getting the full package here.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I mean, like I said, a good example is actually Ghostbusters. Like they released like a PS2 version. You
They
got
did
like
actually. I was going to mention that earlier actually.
yeah, and on the PS2 you got like kind of a cartoony, kind of super deformed version of the game.
Yeah,
Kind of the same. It was still like a third person kind of. Well, I guess it's not really a shooter, but it kind of is third person sort of shooter. Whereas on the PS3 you get realistic, interpretations of. It was trying to be like a real film. It wasn't just like a cartoony version.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
so that was a night and day difference because they basically because of the limitations of the PS2 hardware, they felt it would be better to present the characters in a cartoony fashion. Whereas in the
Mm.
PS3, there wasn't that limitation because it was so much more powerful. Whereas now it's like, oh, you've been used to your crappy 720p version. Well, now we can give you a 1080p version. So
Yeah,
someone's not
I mean, if I were to, not have my 360, no, not have my PS4, I'll still probably say and play the same games and have the same amount, the same experience. I'm not going to get rid of my PS4. I really like it. I think it's a cracking machine, and I like everything it does. But part of me is thinking, well, actually, there's a few. I think a lot of people are, just waiting for that AAA title.
I think it's going
Um,
to be
to,
Uncharted 4, isn't it? Is the one that I think everybody's kind of that's going to be the one.
Uncharted 4, Halo 5, the next Gears of War. There's a few good ones there, and I just hope they only actually come out on the next gen systems, so the developers aren't going to be held back by going, oh, we've got to make this work on that as well, or
Yeah,
let's work on the other machines. But
I think they need
is
to
what
cut it off now. Yeah, now's the cut-off point.
did you see? There was a video actually talking about sort of FIFA.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's an internet celebrity called KSI.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know,
Yes, I know.
him and his brother did a video of them playing FIFA 97, and of course, I think they got famous for doing, just showing themselves playing FIFA. And
They do like Ultimate Team, don't they? They string KSI or Psy or whatever he calls himself. Yeah, he just
yeah,
playing Ultimate Team. He's become like the PewDiePie of FIFA, isn't he?
exactly. And
Yeah.
but he was playing FIFA 97 with his brother, and it was a video. I reckon I think it's on his channel, and it was absolutely hilarious because it just showed how the game was so sort of primitive then, and like the matches are just. Oh, it was just odd. It was
Players
just
are really laggy. They've got very few animations. They're like Frankenstein. And yeah, and when you hit a button, it takes a minute for the animation to do its thing until it actually does something. It's to be fair, FIFA '97 was crap at the time.
oh yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
they were doing things like they were just, they couldn't work out which button was shoot or which button was,
yeah.
a long ball, and they were just somehow kicking the ball off the pitch and then scoring own goals, and it was all, they were two
But even
brothers. They obviously wanted to beat each other.
that's actually a good example though, because FIFA '98 came out the following year, and it was like a different game. It,
Mm.
it was really good. Um, they completely changed the graphics. Like it was a really good game. Whereas FIFA '97 was crap. Well, neither of them were as good as International Superstar Soccer on the Nintendo 64. But
All right, let's not go into that. We'll be here all night.
well, that's all. I think it will cause a flame war. Some of those FIFA fanboys will be like, "Shut up! It was better. It was always better." No, I'm afraid not. Konami were the kings in those days. So, well, they might actually be again, but yeah, with 2015 good old Pro Evo. I think you're converted from what you've been telling me, Stu. So
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I played the demo, and I think I preferred FIFA. But it's
you're
one of
not buying
those. It's
you're
one
not
of
buying
those things. Is that Pro Evo might be better, but I just prefer. I'm used to FIFA at the moment.
And they're both about the same, really, aren't they? The difference isn't like it was with it ISS 64 and FIFA, where there was like graphics were better, gameplay was better, and everything. They're kind of interchangeable. It's like
I
Battlefield.
prefer the what's it called the passing dynamic on FIFA. It's
Yeah,
you can easily pass it around and keep the ball with FIFA. Where I find that Pro Evo, you can't as much. You can't as
So
much.
it's a lot more stressful, as I would describe it. You have to really be careful. It's like a stealth game. You can't relax. You can't really relax and just play it. Whereas FIFA, it's more arcadey. I can just relax and have the telly on and be watching a TV episode of something or a movie, and I can happily play a game and like win and enjoy it, even on the hardest difficulty. But Pro Evo, I can't. I've got to really focus on it because you make one mistake, you're screwed. Kind of like Metal Gear Solid, because
Yeah,
it's actually very stressful to play. Um, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, we'll end up talking about. We need to make a separate podcast for FIFA and Pro
yeah.
Evo.
I think we've got to do that. If we start talking about FIFA and Pro Evo, we've just got to stop. We've got to go. No, no, yellow card.
But yeah, are
You're,
you on an event at Playnation yet for FIFA?
no, we just get idiots in the shop.
It would just be me and you that would turn up to it, isn't it? I think.
I think so.
Everyone
What? Got a question for you. This is the one from last time, actually, which we did get round to.
Yeah.
What? Oh, hold on. What retro didn't like but do now combine two into one? What would that be?
All right. Combine two into one.
Is that into? No. I think that's two questions.
Yeah, I
I think that's
two retro consoles and you could combine them into one. Which two retro consoles would it be?
that's right. Yeah. So what two retro consoles?
Yeah. Well, I can answer that one quite quickly. I'd put like Sega kind of did it. What I'm going to say is that I'm going to make three actually. I'm going to have it so that the Sega never released the Mega CD, but instead released like basically what was I think they had a prototype of it called the Mars or the Neptune, which is basically
Yeah.
32X, a Mega CD, and a Mega Drive all in one. If they made that around 1992 sort of time, I guess it probably would have to end up being about 300 quid. But with play Mega Drive, could do has all the extra 32X stuff, or maybe if I could take the 32X out because that would drive the price up too much. But I would take the Mega CD and the Mega Drive, put them in one unit with the colours of the Super Nintendo. So the FMV would look way better in like your Night Traps and your double and all those crap kind of FMV games. And you would feel like you really were getting when you bought those enhanced CD versions of like Terminator and all that, and like Mortal Kombat, you would actually get better graphics that you could really see. That's what I. So I'd have a Mega Drive and a Mega CD into one unit, which they did do, I know, the multi-mega and all that, but a much more mass-marketed one that was a bit cheaper and had more colours. That was more like a Super Nintendo kind of colours. That's what I would do. What about you?
I don't know actually. I sort of read out that question and I'm sort of trying to think, but I mean, okay, let's do a starting point. My favourite console is one I sort of like collecting for is the Sega Saturn.
Oh God, yeah.
So if we use that as a starting off point, so I think maybe combining the Saturn with
Dreamcast.
yeah, it could be the Dreamcast, because the Sega Saturn, it's really let down the old 3D department, and maybe having sort of the power of the Saturn, the Dreamcast in there, would have, given it a little bit more oomph. Or actually, maybe there's a little bit of talk about this the other day on the Playnation Games Facebook page. There's a bit of a plug there. About the Xbox original was, basically people are calling that the Dreamcast 2. So sort of almost combining having the Xbox One, but if Microsoft had a much bigger, better relationship with Sega, so going, oh, here's the Xbox, it also plays the Dreamcast games. So it sort of became it would have become a bit more of a spiritual successor.
Yeah, that was actually the plan, wasn't it? I think if you go, there's a video on YouTube right now called Did You? There's this channel called Did You
I,
Know
I,
Game?
I watched that actually. Yeah, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's from the Dreamcast one, yeah, and the Nintendo, the Sega chairman said, which spoke to Gates and was like, right, I'm kind of cancelling the Dreamcast because it's getting its ass kicked. Tell you what, how about you bung like Dreamcast compatibility into your console, and then we'll just carry it on making these games, but they'll be on your whatever your console is. And I
Mm.
think Gates was actually up for it. But it's interesting because yeah, it's also in this video. But I remember at the time, it did kind of, it was a little bit like the spiritual success. And a lot of people say the GameCube was, but the Xbox was in many ways because it got like Crazy Taxi, like it got Panzer Dragoon, it got like Jet Set Radio Future. So a lot of
Shenmue 2.
yeah, exactly. Shenmue 2. So a lot of the games that were well, Shenmue 2 did come out on Dreamcast, but a lot of the games
Whoa. It didn't. Shenmue 2 didn't come out in America
yeah,
on the Dreamcast.
we got it.
We got it, yeah, but actually in America it didn't come out. So a lot of people, the Dreamcast fans, you know, who everyone loves Shenmue, I don't know why, but brought it on the Xbox original.
If you're a Sega fanboy, then you kind of Shenmue. You have to like Shenmue. It's part of it.
No, I don't.
But are you a Sega fanboy though?
Well, I think you can be a Sega fanboy without liking
Well, I don't think you
Shenmue.
have to. I think you just, I think it's an offensive to suggest that. Actually, I think you could be into video games if you don't like Shenmue.
Oh, I'm not into video games then.
Yeah, I'm glad you admitted it. No, I understand actually because I freaking love Shenmue. I could do an entire podcast about it. But I understand why people think it's shit because it is really boring and kind of crap. Because it's just you following a dude around asking about sailors, and then buying things out of a capsule toy thing, playing darts, and going to bed. That's basically it. It sounds like a rubbish Skyrim.
Yeah.
I love it. I like went mental when it came out.
No. I can see why it's a good game. You know, if I was, you know, put in a lock cell for a week, I'm sure I'll probably complete the game. You know, if that was the only game in there,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'll get, you know, a little bit. I'll have a different opinion of it. I'll go, oh yeah, I see what you mean now. This is a good game, but I think part of me is just no. It's
I tried to get my girlfriend to play it, and I was like, oh, because sometimes I dust off the Dreamcast and pop it into our big HD telly, and it still looks great on, especially through a nice SCART connection. It still looks pretty great, even though it's only 480p or whatever. I was like, I've got to show you Shenmue because it's the greatest game ever made, and you'll probably start crying.
Was she really impressed, Trevor? I'll be honest with
What
you.
is this? You're just some dude walking around a town, buying things out of a vending machine. This is the worst game I've ever seen. Then I went to the arcade and started playing darts, and she was darts game. She was like, this game is really good. She was playing the darts game for like an hour.
Yeah.
Spending Ine San's money that she gave him, which gives you like 10,000 yen or whatever, 1,000 yen each morning for no reason. So yeah, she thinks but the rest of the game, shit. Darts game, brilliant. So yeah, that's my girlfriend's review of Shenmue, which I don't quite agree with, but each to their own.
Exactly.
It's a lot better. It does tackle the boredom thing a bit better. There's more to do and there's more things go on. But yeah, you probably tuned out by the time if you don't like Shenmue, you probably won't be that bothered. I'm trying to pick up I haven't got the Xbox version. I'm ashamed to say.
You should get that.
I do what? Hell yeah, because it's got all the cutscenes from the original on its own DVD.
I know. Yeah, you should watch that.
Have you got it?
I did have it at one point, but I think I donated to the shop when times were a little bit tougher.
How can you give up a Shenmue copy?
I think the conversation about Shenmue is putting me to sleep, Trevor. So I'm going to have to let you go.
Announcement, Stu. We're waiting for that Shenmue 3 announcement. It's coming. I know it is.
Potentially. Fingers crossed.
For 12, even longer, since 2002. It's coming.
I know. They've been working on it ever since.
Probably, yeah. It's probably going to be like GTA. It's going to be the ultimate.
It's going to be on 5 Blu-rays.
It's going to come out. Yeah, there'll be a 50 gig. It'll be a 100 gig download to install it. because you can't fit that much.
It's only going to be on PC only.
It will be released on a 1 terabyte hard drive that you've got to plug into your console.
You just have to buy a computer with it on.
You have to buy
you can't put anything else on it.
PC that you then plug into your Xbox or PS4 because it can't run the awesomeness. And it's minimum 8K TV is needed to play it. 2 8K TVs, it's got to span across both of them.
All right.
Anyway.
See you later. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe, like. Thank you. Bye.